Alright guys, we're going to do a quick video on Dropdowns real quick, and we're going to go over option item DTOs. So quick changes I made before I started is I went into the product and I added a user to it so that we can effectively demonstrate the foreign key relationships going on here, as well as I added a username to our product get DTO so we can, kind of just see that the user is getting applied. And added the user ID to our create update DTO because, well, we're going to have to create and update it. One more thing we're going to add into user ID. Probably a good thing to have when we're getting it is just the ID of the user in case we ever need it. First important thing we're going to do is in our entities folder, going to add a new class, and I'm going to call it option item DTO. Now this isn't going to be like your other entities. We're not going to actually add it to our data context. This is only going to be used as obviously a DTO. So what is going to be in an option item DTO will be public string label, the old get set as you do, and public string value. For some reason, Mantine only wants to work with strings in their values instead of like integers for IDs. Doesn't matter. C# is smart enough to figure out that string 1 is the same as integer 1. So now we have our option item DTO made here. We will go to our users controller, and I'm going to add a new endpoint for getting the user options. So I'll do HTTP get, and this will be route options. So inside of our options, we'll do the old public I action result get options. Get options. So in here, we will do var response equals new response, as you do, and we're going to basically do like our get all. So we'll say var user options equals underscore context dot users dot select user to a new option item DTO, and we'll do label user dot username, and value is user.id, .toString. So then response.data equals user options. It's a lowercase t, silly me. And return, okay, response. Perfect. So this should be the bulk, or actually all, of our options endpoint. So we're just getting all of the users. Ooh, one more thing. Sorry, .toLists. So this should be all of our get options endpoint. This should, get all the users from the database, map all of those users to an individual option item DTO where the label is username, the value is the ID as a string for weird reasons. So next thing we're going to do is going to be on our front end, and we're going to go to our types, and we'll do export type option item DTO, and we'll have label string, and we'll have value string. Perfect. So we'll go to our product create, and whenever we're creating it, this goes for the update as well if we're going to want to have a drop down in the update, but it's the exact same either way. Use effect, and we'll do async function get user options, doesn't take in any parameters, and we'll do const response equals await API dot get from slash API slash users slash options. Perfect. So let's give this get a type, the API response of type option item DTO array, because we're getting a list of them back. Perfect. If response dot data, response dot has errors, return, and then show notification message will be error getting options with the color of red. Otherwise, return. Now, before we return from there, we'll need to do const user options set user options equals use state, and this will be of type option item DTO array, just like our response from the API. Perfect. So now set user options to response.data.data, and then we'll return. So now we have our user options here. We'll go all the way down below our number input, and I'll do select, and we'll do label equals user. We'll need to do this good old thing to get the configuration for our form. So we'll go right there, and instead of price, it'll be user ID. And we'll do with asterisk and data equals user options. And let's go ahead and update that import. Perfect. So now if we go here and I log in, I get an error because I didn't call the function. There we go. Admin in our dropdown. So we'll do tests price $1 million. Perfect. And you can see really high price, username admin, because that's the one that we selected in here. So what a dropdown does, guys, is the label represented by the string in our types is what shows up in the actual input right here. So the label is their username, which is admin, but the value is importantly is what gets sent to our actual API. So if we hit F12 real quick, go to network, and I just hit submit. Ooh, and if I just hit submit, you will see that the request we sent up, the user ID is 1, not admin. So label is what shows up, value is what actually gets sent to the API. So yeah, use that anywhere you're doing an ID, but you don't want to have to remember the ID of the thing you're typing in. You instead want them to be able to select something. And this works for all of your different relationship types. So yeah, good luck, have fun.